Most people have it backwards. They think the goal is to find comfort, to build a life where you don't have to struggle anymore, where you can relax, where everything is smooth and soft and safe. But that's the trap. Comfort is the enemy. It seduces you, dulls you, kills the fire inside you one lazy day at a time. You weren't made to be soft. You weren't made to sit around scrolling on your phone while your dreams rot in the back of your mind. You were built for the storm, built to go to war with your limits, built to break. See, the truth no one wants to hear is this: greatness lives in the pain. Not the pain of meaningless suffering, but the pain of growth. The pain of showing up when you're tired. The pain of doing the work when your body screams no and your brain tells you to quit. That's where the 1% live. That's where they thrive. They don't fear the grind. They chase it because they know every drop of sweat, every sore muscle, every early morning and lonely night. That's the currency you pay for power. The problem is society sells this idea that success should be easy, that you can manifest it, that there's a shortcut, a hack, a secret formula. Bullshit. The only formula is this: you suffer now so you can win later. You go through hell so that on the other side, you're the kind of savage who can handle anything. The 1% don't complain about the hard path. They choose it. They don't want easy. Easy is a lie. Easy robs you of strength. It makes you weak and entitled. And when life hits, and it always hits, you break. You gotta flip the switch in your brain. Stop running from pain and start seeing it as the gateway. Because every time you suffer and keep going, you become something more. You become solid. You become sharp. You become dangerous. That's what separates people. Not who they are when it's fun. Who they are when it sucks, when it's cold and dark and nobody's watching. That's when you find out if you're really serious or just playing pretend. The ones who make it, they're not superhuman. They're just willing to suffer more. They've trained themselves to love the pain because they know what's on the other side of it. They're forged in it. While the rest are busy finding ways to avoid work, avoid discomfort, avoid reality. The elite are out there bleeding, sweating, growing. You've got to stop looking for the exit and start looking for the challenge. Start welcoming the struggle. Get addicted to the process. Because every time you voluntarily walk into the fire, you become the kind of person who's unfuquable. And in this world, soft, distracted, full of excuses, that kind of person is rare. That's the 1%. So yeah, comfort feels good for a second, but it robs you of your edge. It steals your purpose. You feel alive. You want to dominate your goals. Then you've got to do what most won't. You've got to embrace the pain, hunt it down, and let it shape you. That's how you win. That's how you separate. That's how you earn the right to say, I don't just survive the pain, I rise because of it. People keep asking what the secret is. They want to know what separates winners from everyone else. And the answer is simple, but it pisses people off. It's mindset. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's how you think, how you see the world, how you process failure, pressure, and pain. You can have all the talent in the world. You can be a genius, have the best genetics, come from the perfect background. But if your mindset is weak, none of it matters. You'll fold the second things get hard. You'll quit when it's not convenient. You'll break when life doesn't go your way. The 1% have a different operating system. They're not playing the same game. While most people are reacting to life, just going through the motions, these guys are on offense 247. They've trained their minds to see every obstacle as an opportunity. Every failure is feedback. Every challenge is fuel. They don't get discouraged when it's tough. They expect it to be tough. They want it to be tough. Because they know that's how they separate themselves. See, most people are mentally soft. They think discipline is something you do when it's convenient. They think motivation should carry them. But the truth is motivation dies quick. It's an emotion, not a plan. What lasts? Grit. What carries you when you're exhausted and nothing's working? Mindset. That inner voice that says, I'm not done. I'm not stopping. I'm not orgoing losing today. That's what makes the difference. You ever notice how the best people in the world, fighters, athletes, entrepreneurs, they all say the same thing. It's mental, because it is. You don't become elite by accident. You become elite because your mind is built for war. You've trained it. You've sharpened it in the dark when no one's clapping. You've wrestled with your own weakness and beat it into submission. That doesn't come from luck. That comes from choosing the hard way over and over again. The people who never get anywhere, they let fear run the show. They let doubt stop them before they start. They overthink. They hesitate. They need everything to be perfect before they act. That's a broken mindset. That's the 99%. They wait for permission. The 1% create their own path. They don't need a map. They build it while they walk. And here's the thing. Anyone can do it. You don't need to be born special to fix your mindset. You just need to stop feeding yourself lies. Stop telling yourself you can't. Stop blaming your past. Stop looking for someone to save you. No one's coming. You either step up or you don't. And if you want to step up, it starts with your thoughts. What you believe becomes what you do, and what you do becomes who you are. So when you're sitting there debating whether to skip the gym, whether to push one more rep, whether to get up early or sleep in, understand this. That's your moment. That's the moment where the elite are made. That's where the 1% win. Not in the spotlight, but in the quiet decisions that no one sees. Because those decisions compound. They shape your brain. They wire you for victory. They turn you into a machine. If you want to rise above average, if you want to stop just existing and start dominating, you've got to rewire how you think. You've got to kill the excuses. You've got to harden your mind, because the people who make it to the top, they don't have weaker problems. They have stronger minds. And once you get that, really get it, everything changes. People are obsessed with motivation. They're chasing it like it's some kind of drug, watching videos, reading quotes, waiting for that perfect lightning bolt moment that'll make them jump out of bed and crush their goals. But motivation is a liar. It's a fragile, short-term burst of energy that disappears the second things get uncomfortable. The winners, they don't rely on that feeling. They rely on discipline, cold, consistent, relentless discipline. That's the difference. That's what separates the real ones from the fakes. It's discipline doesn't care if you're tired, if you're sore. It doesn't care if it's raining outside or if you had a bad day. Discipline says, we're doing it anyway. And when you stack enough of those days together, when you string together action after action, even when your brain is screaming at you to stop, that's when transformation happens, not before. Motivation is soft. It comes and goes with your mood. It's a maybe. Discipline is a decision. It's a contract you make with yourself and refuse to break no matter what. Think about it. If you only showed up when you felt like it, how often would you actually show up? Once a week, twice a month? That's the average person's life. That's why they never level up. That's why they stay stuck. They're waiting for the perfect conditions to act, while the 1% are out there grinding in the chaos. The truth is, nobody's motivated all the time, not even close. But the disciplined ones, they show up broken. They show up angry. They show up uninspired. They show up with no sleep, no energy, no applause, and they still get it done. That's the standard. And that's why they win. Because discipline builds momentum, and momentum crushes everything. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not a dopamine hit. It's early mornings. It's saying no to distraction. It's doing the work when your brain is negotiating 100 reasons to quit. You've got to kill the noise. You've got to develop that inner beast that says, I do what I said I'd do. That's real power. That's what makes you unstoppable. And here's the harsh truth most people can't handle: the life you want is on the other side of the shop you don't want to do. It's that workout you keep skipping, that business plan you're avoiding, that book you said you'd write, that uncomfortable conversation you keep putting off. All of it, you keep hoping for motivation to carry you, but it won't. It's weak fuel. It burns out fast. Discipline, that's jet fuel. That keeps the engine running even when everything around you is falling apart. So you want change. Stop chasing motivation like a child looking for candy. Lock into discipline like a warrior sharpening his blade every morning. Stop giving yourself an out. Stop negotiating. You said you'd do it, so do it. No questions, no feelings, just action. The world belongs to the disciplined. They're not the lewdest. They're not the flashiest, but they are the most dangerous. Because they cannot be stopped by mood or circumstance or failure. They're consistent, and in a world full of people who start things and never finish, consistency is a superpower. You want to be great, then act like it every single day, not just when you feel good. Do it when it's boring. Do it when it's brutal. Do it when your mind says, skip it. That's the moment that builds the killer inside you. That's the line between ordinary and savage. People are obsessed with motivation. They're chasing it like it's some kind of drug, watching videos, reading quotes, waiting for that perfect lightning bolt moment that'll make them jump out of bed and crush their goals. But motivation is a liar. It's a short-term burst of energy that disappears the second things get uncomfortable. The winners, they don't rely on that feeling. They rely on discipline, cold, consistent, relentless discipline. The difference, that's what separates the real ones from the fakes. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're sore. If it's raining outside or if you had a bad day. Discipline says we're doing it anyway. And when you stack enough of those days together, when you string together action after action, even when your brain is screaming at you to stop, that's when transformation happens, not before. Motivation is soft. It comes and goes with your mood. It's a maybe. Discipline is a decision. It's a contract you make with yourself and refuse to break no matter what. Think about it. If you only showed up when you felt like it, how often would you actually show up? Once a week, twice a month. That's the average person's life. That's why they never level up. That's why they stay stuck. They're waiting for the perfect conditions to act, while the 1% are out there grinding in the chaos. The truth is, nobody's motivated all the time, not even close. But the disciplined ones, they show up broken. They show up angry. They show up uninspired. They show up with no sleep, no energy, no applause. And they still get it done. That's the standard. And that's why they win. Because discipline builds momentum And momentum crushes everything. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not a dopamine hit. It's early mornings. It's saying no to distraction. It's doing the work when your brain is negotiating 100 reasons to quit. You've got to kill the noise. You've got to develop that inner beast that says, I do what I said I do. That's real power. That's what makes you unstoppable. And here's the harsh truth most people can't handle. The life you want is on the other side of the shot you don't want to do. That workout you keep skipping. That business plan you're avoiding. That book you said you'd write. That uncomfortable conversation you keep putting off. All of it. You keep hoping for motivation to carry you, but it won't. It's weak fuel. It burns out fast. Discipline, that's jet fuel. That keeps the engine running even when everything around you is falling apart. So you want change. Stop chasing motivation like a child looking for candy. Lock into discipline like a warrior sharpening his blade every morning. Stop giving yourself an out. Stop negotiating. You said you'd do it, so do it. No questions, no feelings. Just action. The world belongs to the discipline. They're not the loudest. They're not the flashiest, but they are the most dangerous because they cannot be stopped by mood or circumstance or failure. They're consistent, and in a world full of people who start things and never finish, consistency is a superpower. You want to be great, then act like it. Every single day, not just when you feel good, do it when it's boring. Do it when it's brutal. Do it when your mind says, skip it. That's the moment that builds the killer inside you. That's the line between ordinary and savage. Most people wake up with no plan, no urgency. They roll out of bed, grab their phone, scroll through trash, eat whatever's easy, and drift through the day like it doesn't matter. And then they wonder why they're miserable, why they feel stuck, why they're not leveling up. It's because they're not building anything. They're surviving, not creating, just existing, not evolving. If you want to live the 1%, you've got to treat every dam like a battlefield. You've got to attack it with intention. You've got to build your mind, build your body, and build your purpose every single day. The mind is your command center. It's where everything begins and everything breaks. And most people never train it. They let their thoughts run wild. Doubt, fear, laziness. It controls them. But the 1%, they train their mind like a savage. They read, they reflect, they meditate, they journal. Not to look smart, but to stay sharp. They feed their brain the same way they feed their muscles. Consistently, deliberately, and with quality fuel. Because they know the wrong thoughts will sabotage everything. You can have all the skills in the world, but if your mind is weak, you'll collapse under pressure. If your thoughts are undisciplined, your life will be too. Then there's the body. That's your weapon. That's your machine. And you can't afford to let it rust. But look around. Most people treat their body like garbage. Fast food, no sleep, no training, no energy. And it shows. You can't be mentally strong if you're physically weak. You need to move. You need to suffer a little. You need to sweat, push your limits, test your lungs, tear your muscles down, and build them back stronger. The gym isn't optional. It's therapy. It's war, and it's where you learn how to fight through resistance. Every rep is a reminder that you are in control, that your limits are a lie. But the real anchor, the thing that brings it all together, is purpose. Without that, none of it means shot. If you don't know what you're chasing, you'll drift, you waste time, you'll fall into bad habits and wonder why life feels meaningless. Purpose gives you fire. It gives you direction, and it doesn't have to be some giant mission. It can be as simple as becoming better than you were yesterday. Becoming a better father, a better leader, a better human. But it has to be real. It has to be something that drives you, something that makes you get up when the world is telling you to stay down. The 1% wake up with fire in their chest. They plan their day. They protect their time. They fuel their body. They sharpen their mind. They revisit their goals. They say no to distractions. They don't need a reason to do the right thing. They do it because it's who they are, because they've built systems, habits, and standards that force growth, that demand progress, that leave no room for average. It's not complicated. It's just not easy. You don't need 1,000 strategies. You need commitment. You need to decide that every day is another chance to build, to become harder to kill, sharper in thought and clearer in direction. And if you don't treat each day like it's sacred, you'll fall back into the noise, into the chaos, into mediocrity. So stop wasting mornings. Stop living like time doesn't matter. Because every hour is a brick, and every brick is either building your empire or your excuses. Choose wisely. Nobody's coming. That's the reality. No one's going to knock on your door and hand you the life you dream about. No one's going to drag you to the gym, force you to put down the junk food, push you to work on your craft, or hold your hand through your darkest moments. You're on your own. And once you understand that, not in a sad, depressing way, but in a powerful, freeing way, everything changes. Because that's when you stop waiting. You stop expecting. You stop blaming your parents, your past, your boss, your surroundings. You look in the mirror and you finally get I do. It's on you, that mindset. That's the beginning of something dangerous. It's something rare. That's when a person stops being a victim and starts being a machine. The world is full of people waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready, waiting for motivation to show up, waiting for someone to notice them. Guess what? Time doesn't care. Life doesn't pause for your feelings. Every second you waste is a second someone else is out there working, getting better, getting stronger. And you're still hoping someone will come save you. They won't. You have to save yourself. The people who make it, the ones who rise, they all share one trait. They take full ownership, not just of their success, but their pain, their failures, their screw-ups. They don't deflect. They don't blame the weather or their schedule or their trauma. They say, this is my life. If it's broken, I'll fix it. If I'm weak, I'll train. If I fail, I'll learn. That's real power. That's the mindset that builds champions. And here's the thing. Most people don't want that responsibility. They'd rather live small and blame big. It's easier to say, the system's rigged, or people don't support me, or I was never given a chance. It lets you off the hook. But it also means you're giving your power away. You're handing your life to the world and saying, do whatever you want with me. That's not living. That's surrender. You have to decide that your life is yours. Not your parents, not society's, yours. And the only way to make it into something great is to step into the fire, take the hits, and keep moving. Goal. It's not about being perfect. You're going to mess up. You're going to feel lost. You're going to doubt yourself. But that's part of it. That's the process. The people who win didn't get there by skipping the pain. They got there by walking through it when everyone else sat down. You want something. Go earn it. Build it with your own hands. It doesn't matter where you're starting. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed. What matters is that you stop outsourcing your life to chance. You stop waiting for the sign, or the support. You become the person who shows up when no one else will. You become your own savior. You want to be unbreakable. You want to be dangerous. Then take full responsibility for your body, for your mind, for your actions, for your outcomes. No excuses, no complaints, just pure brutal ownership. And once you lock into that, once you stop expecting life to give you anything, you'll start earning everything. You'll be a different kind of human, a threat, a storm, a booing force of nature because you didn't ask for it, you built it alone. And that's what makes it real.